live. Manchester United won. Everton won, guys. And I'm not going to lie if I didn't say that I wasn't disappointed. I'm very, very disappointed. I'm glad we got the point. Sorry, and we'll talk about Mason Greenwood in a second. But especially now hearing that Spurs have got a late goal, which puts them to fifth, only 3 points behind Chelsea now. We really, really needed to win. We are still in sixth position. If Arsenal somehow beat City, obviously they'll be ahead of us. So, this was an opportunity, and what can I say really about this game? Before I even go into the post-match reaction, first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, We United X, and for that good stuff. We are going to be doing something a bit different. So at about 4:30 UK more advice and the next half hour, 20 minutes, we're going to stop the stream and finish a post-match reaction, and then we're going to have a post-match reaction live chat. It's via StreamYard where we're basically going to get you guys on. As long as you have a speaker and a mic, you can come on and voice your opinions regarding the game. Not just through the comments, but voicing your opinions about the game. So hopefully we can get a lot of you guys on to voice what you think about the game and what have you. So I'm going to give my spiel first, and then we'll basically take things from there. This game, Everton, to be honest, this game again shows that unfortunately, Manchester United, it shows me two things. One, we need to buy in January. We definitely need to buy in January. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying that we don't, if it's Ole or Ed or whatever that's saying that we're fine, we need signs, so we can build. That's nonsense. If we're going to push for a top four, we're going to compete this season, not go any further down and strengthen. We need to buy in January. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that once again, and this for me was the game that we needed to show, you know what? Sorry, it's not just a fluke. We can beat teams that sit back, that are more defensive. Because to be honest, Everton, let's be honest, Everton didn't really come out. For most of the second half anyway, they just sort of sat back and really didn't do much of anything. They really didn't. So to come across this team, that basically do what we expect them to do, which was to sit back, soak up pressure, etc., 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 and to go down and come on draw is not a surprise to anybody. It's not a surprise to anybody whatsoever. And listen, I mean, United, I think, to be honest, I think generally we're poor. I think our front three in particular, I think Daniel James, I think Martial, I think Rashford, all poor, in my opinion. Their decision making was poor. There were a lot of times when I was like, square it, speculative efforts, our set pieces, which have been all season, have been poor. I don't think we had a single good corner or free kick at all in that game. So poor from our set pieces, poor from our front three. Fred and McTominay, a midfield was kind of sort of semi-non-existent in that respect. I mean, they had terrible games, but it just wasn't there. And then that leads to the goal, really. So and when we look at the goal, Don Ragnar and Vishen Naidu, we'll come to it. So Don Ragnar says, "Gee, did you see Greenwood flicking through that booklet with a facial expression? That's it. All about these dead tactics." I'm surprised they actually showed that on Spurs, but that didn't exactly help us. But we're going to talk about Mason Greenwood in a second, buddy, because Mason Greenwood had, in my opinion, a very, very good... Well, he needs to be starting now because his introduction in the last, 20 minutes, to be honest, is more than I think that Martial and Rashford did. And James, unfortunately, in the last... Although James, you could say, he's just come as younger. But I think his contribution did more than the front three combined. And that's not just including the goal. Vishen Naidu, I don't know why people thought that because we have not done it for 6 years now. I don't know. I was speculative. I hoped that Manchester United could get a win here. at the very least at Old Trafford. I was actually going to head down. I'm glad I didn't, to be honest, because of how bad the transport is and so on. But, you know, I'm going to talk briefly about the goal as well. That was a foul. That was a foul. There's no doubt in my mind that actually was a foul. And the fact that, you know, I think there was a comment by the referee sort of being something like normal contact. As far as I'm aware, and you know, I'm played football for a while, but when a player's hand, I think it was what's his name, Calvert-Lewin, when a player's hand is over an opponent's face, blocking their vision of view, that is not normal contact, in my opinion. It's not. Like, your hands are supposed to be off generally by your side, or at least up to give you a bit of leverage. But that's not normal contact. That's not normal contact at all. You know, so I am very surprised that we did not. That when VR, because VR checked it to see if it was impeded. You know, so clear there was like, oh, hang on for a second. So the fact that you have to go to VR to check whether it was impeded, you know, was something. Now, there's nothing that Lindelof could have done. I don't think he was expecting it. You know, it'd be very harsh to sort of go down on Lindelof in that respect. You know, even though it was an unfortunate goal and it was annoying, because to be honest, I really don't think Everton. There was maybe one or two chances in the first half. They had one or two chances in the second half. I think I saw a statistic where it showed up our shots. We had enough to 24 shots and they had 8. So we had 2 shots for me that troubled De Gea in the first half, maybe 2 in the second. And that was about it. Everton didn't really threaten United in this game. And even in the second half, they dialed it down a bit, just waiting to counter-attack us. United had the majority of possession, but once again, Manchester United are not able to break teams down. They are not able to break teams down. It's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. And you know, we could have had we won this game, being Watford, we could have basically been top 4 at Christmas. We're now in a situation where we're now 6th. Spurs are now back in the race for top 4. Mourinho, I'm sure, would love it if he was able to get top 4 over United any day. And it's just frustration. It's just more and more frustration. Now, once again, United cannot get it done. You know, and the thing is, I think what this shows is that there's 2 things it shows, in my opinion. Is one, Paul Pogba needs to come back ASAP. We need Paul Pogba back ASAP, and we need in January to buy a creative attacking midfielder. Because I know there's all this talk about Haaland, getting a forward. Yes, that's true, but as Greenwood has actually shown, we've got talented forwards. We've got that, but the problem is that we don't actually have forwards that can actually... we don't have creative players that can create chances for the forwards, like Pogba would do. We don't have that. Just reading some of your comments. Bro, Ollie's one-dimensional counter-attack tactics only work against big teams that keep possession. Exactly. When United have to dominate and attack weaker teams, Ollie's is crucial to have the time. I agree. And like I said, I was hoping that maybe this game there might be something to prove, that there might be something different. But no, it's standard. It's standard Manchester United, that they are just not able to break teams down even at home. And it's disappointing. It really, really is. Vishan Nanja says, we accept winning reinforcements, but coaching is non-existent. We poor defending crosses, yes. Corners that are tactically need to play higher up. I agree. You know, the fact of the matter is that it is very rare for United to score from a free kick. It's rare for United to score from a set piece. The only thing that we seem to score from are penalties and some good individual play. And I don't think that is good enough, especially when you look at the fact that Liverpool seem to score from all of those things that I said. When we talk about the goal, Mason Greenwood comes on at 70-something minutes and makes a difference. And out of nothing, I looked at that goal live, and Greenwood had no right. He had no right whatsoever to score that goal. You know, took his chance, low and hard in the corner, with, I think that might have been his first shot on target, boom, goal. And we're talking about like Rashford and Martial, Lingard, even that have been on the pitch, that have been there, speculative efforts at best, lack of composure at times, making poor decisions. Greenwood comes on with no right. Bottom corner beats, everyone is too fitted, and beats Thing in goal. So for me, there is a question that Mason Greenwood should now be considered to start, because I think Greenwood is talented. I think he needs more game time. And I think, for me, the way I see with Greenwood is that in the initial phases, he won't be great if we put him into Premier League games. It will take him maybe 2-3 games to get to... But with a good run of three games in the team, Mason Greenwood could be a really good talent. But the fact that he's too fit, the fact that he's finished, the fact that he's got the composure, no right. He had no right whatsoever to actually... To score that goal. No right whatsoever. Just a shout out, guys. By the way, I am streaming on Twitch. By the way, Twitch. I'd appreciate it if you would hit over to Twitch and give me a follow there. It's a REDEVILSTUDIO. That's REDEVILSTUDIO. Names in the description as well. Head over to Twitch as well and listen to what we're doing as well. So, but yeah. Guys, it's disappointing. Just reading some of your comments. Vishnu Nadu, we accept. When Maguire's the ball, the fullbacks need to push higher. We seem to only do that in the second half when chasing the game. I agree. The fullbacks weren't pushing high at all in the first half. I didn't see Wan-Bissaka off at all. And while Wan-Bissaka, again, we know Wan-Bissaka is good defensively, and he wasn't caught out in that respect. His forward game has not improved. Being under Manchester United hasn't. It has not improved whatsoever, and that is just something that that also needs to change. But he's been at the club for a while. The coaching staff haven't changed that. So it's like I posted, I think, a comment on a video a while back in that Klopp signs decent players and makes them better, takes them to a step level. We sign players hoping that they'll improve our squad and relying on individual talent. In order to win trophies, you have to have a balance of both. You have to have good players, coming into a team, but you have to have good coaching style to get the best out of the team. I don't think we have that. Raymond Moore, good to see you. Should have started Greenwood. He is the only player that has composure in his shot. I agree. I absolutely agree. Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood is a talent. Mason Greenwood is a talent. He is a talent. And I just think that the thing is, with starting him, what will happen is that he'll probably not play great for quite long, because not on a game. For example, even when he's played in the Europa League for he's not been amazing when he's played in the Europa League. He's not lit the fire line. That's when he's played a full 90 minutes. However, he's an impact player. Right now, Mason Greenwood, remember, is an impact player. He impacts games. His decision making is good, and that's what we need at Manchester United right now. We need that composure. Vishnu, yeah, Pogba will help, but he has to be played in the Lingard position. I agree. If Pogba does come back, he should not be replaced. He should not replace Fred or McTominay. Absolutely. United only should only see the last 20 minutes. For me, a lot of this lack of urgency, a lot of this lack of creativity, lack of going forward, a lot of it is tied down to the fact that our players are not fit enough. When was the last time we actually played well for full 90 minutes? Even against City, we played well for the first maybe 45, 60. But we don't have the... We just defended very well afterwards. We just don't have the stamina to really go at teams for 90 minutes. We're just not fit enough. And especially going into December now, the legs are going to go. Don Ragnar, Ollie is barking the wrong tree with Holland. The mint with the hole that is our midfield is what we should be focusing on. Even with Holland on team, who's the signal for goals? Exactly my point. Haaland, fine, it'll be a good signing, especially if Martial gets injured. We've got another forward. But as you said, we need creative players. We need a creative midfielder, an attacking midfielder, number 10. We need something. and we're not getting that. And the alternatives right now have been Mata and Pereira, and they're not good enough. So if you're not going to get Bruno Fernandes, you've got to get somebody. But I guess the question is, which attacking midfielders are available in January? I'd like to think Bruno Fernandes would be. I don't think James Maddison will be. They're not a lot available in January. So this is the thing. Greenwood, the second coming of RVP Don Ragnar. Agree with that. Raymond Moore. Lingard clearly is not playing well because of problems with his family. Or should not force him. And I'll make a comment about that because I've slated Lingard on this channel. I'm sure a lot of you guys have slated Lingard, and obviously he came out, with comments about the fact that at the end of the day, none of us know what goes on in individuals' personal life and what have you, and we should respect that. But it certainly gives us like an idea, an explanation as to why things worked out, why things were the way they were in that respect. And I wish him all the best. And obviously, keeping this stuff to himself is going to be difficult. So no, I wish him all the best, and I hope he does. It does improve and does get better. The point. That said, it is a competitive sport. It is a game. We do need to win. So if Lingard needs time away, the way I sort of see it is that Lingard needs some away. But again, I guess you could say this is the problem. I hate going back to summer. We can't do that. We can't give Lingard a break because our alternatives are Mata and Pereira. So the depth of the squad is poor. Signs are poor. And to be fair, and I say this, if you go back to the videos at the start, I did say that United will be lucky to get fourth. That I would anticipate our position this season will be fifth or sixth. Right now we're sixth place. So am I surprised where United are after how many so games? No, but it's just that much like last season towards this season, where so many teams are performing badly, where we had the opportunity to capitalize, we're not doing that. If we're not careful, I think Spurs are going to creep in. I think they really are. I think I'm hoping beyond hope in a way that Arsenal actually do beat Manchester City today, because that might actually bring Man City into the fold as well. So who knows? Lingard, Vishnu Naidu, the problem is our plan A should be the plan B. You only play the top 6 for 10 games, but what do we do for the other 28 games? Ole only has a counter plan. I agree. We were just what I want to see. I want to see what happens when we have a creative midfielder, a creative player. That's what I want to see, because our midfield is bereft of creativity. McTominay and Fred are good grafters, but they're not creative players. They're really, really not. The only creative player in the United side is Pogba. And even our centre-backs, I'd argue, Lindelof and Maguire, try to be creative. But up top, we have no creative players. Lingard was quite creative against City, but that was about it. We don't have the creative players that we really need to be able to unlock teams. I will keep on stressing the fact that poor Pogba is a very, very big miss. He's a very big miss. But again, it just goes back to the summer. It goes back to summer again. It goes back, and that's that, I guess. Don Ragnar, bring in Grealish and Jan. They add to midfield and might bring in someone. Okay, that's fair enough. Grealish is certainly a shout. If you guys have any other alternatives, options to what you think, who United should bring in, let me know. Like I said, guys, just a shout, just a reminder. As soon as the stream finishes, so it'll be done in about the next 10 minutes or so. Like the video if you're new here. There will be a live chat or live chat-in via StreamYard after the stream is finished, where you guys can come in and you can basically, as long as you guys got a mic on your PCs and whatever, you can join the chat and voice your opinions about the game and stuff like that. So that's going to be something that we're going to do from a regular basis, where we'll have my post-match reaction, discussion with you guys, and then a sort of call in. So just bear that in mind. Hopefully we can get some of you guys on, and you can obviously have your spiel live. So you just need a mic and no webcam, no cameras, and like that. Just the mic. So mute your cameras, but just use your microphones. Okay. So yeah, it's just disappointing. That's all I can really say, really. And the brightest spark of the whole game is just Mason Greenwood. I've already commented about the fact that I think the goal was a foul on the keeper, and that I think Lindelof was unlucky. I don't think there was a lot that really he could do. If I'm perfectly honest, but no, it's just poor. It's just poor, unfortunately. And that's just how it is. That is just how it is. Don Ragnar, Ollie's been watching reruns of that old Schwarzenegger film Running Man because running is all that seems to be able to coach. Yeah, I mean, that's a good shout. I mean, the United coaching is not great. It's not great, and we need to resolve it quickly. To be honest, there's not really much else to say with them because, to be honest, the game of Raw was quite boring, and United. It's boring in the sense that, like, it's the same issues. It's the same issues. It's the same issues over and over and over again. And I've got no doubt that Ollie is probably going to get... I assume, he's probably going to get to the summer. I think he'll get to the summer, provided that we don't have get pitiful results. It's probably going to get to the summer. But you can't just rely on beating Spurs and beating sorts of... Yes, okay, of course. I think that when we go to Spurs, when we go to Chelsea even, when we go to something, we can actually win those games. We can. I have confidence that we can actually beat Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, even City at Old Trafford because of the way we play. But we need to do well against all the other teams. And unless we sign big in January, I just don't see us getting the top four. In which case, as has always been my sort of thought, is that we're probably going to have to sort of concentrate on the Europa League. At least in the Europa League, a lot of the teams that play there are probably going to come at us a bit more, and we can get at them. But yeah, I think this is going to have to be a Europa League job. This is the way that things are going. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Like I said, in about 10 minutes or so, we're going to go live with the post-match reaction live chat. We're going to have you guys coming in, just voicing what you have to say. I'll be moderating and just asking various questions as to what you think where we should go there. Are people Ollie out? Are people Ollie in? Etc. etc. It's an interesting one. And literally before Mason Greenwood scored, I was about to post because I was so confident before Mason Greenwood that United were going to lose this game that I was almost going to put the thumbnail to this YouTube topic being, United lose 1-0, poor, same old United, poor again. I was so close to doing that. And then Greenwood comes on and proves me wrong, thank God. So yeah, it's not surprising. Vishan Naidu, over the next 2 windows, my suggestion: Bruno 85 million release clause, Thomas Partey 40 million, Haaland possible 20 million, Sancho 100 million, possible box to box midfield 50 million, sell Pogba net spend of 150 million. That sounds great, but the two issues with that are, to be honest, the last summer transfer windows, history tells us that in January we haven't signed anyone. The last summer windows, we've only spent a net spend of about 50-60 million. And also, I guess the question is, do the coaching staff want those players? Those are the questions that need to be asked. Raymond Moore, why Pogba is still not playing? He knows the team needs him. His team seems to still be injured, mate. And the only thing I guess you could say is that if United can sort of be at least not that far, maybe 3 or 4 points behind top 4, Pogba will be back apparently before the new year, and so if we can at least be back, keep up, then I think we have a chance. Now, to be honest, after this performance, I'm actually not hopeful for Watford and Newcastle. I'm not hopeful for Watford and Newcastle because Watford under Nigel Pearson. I watched the Liverpool game. Watford actually looked very good. Although they lost, but Watford actually looked very, very good. They've got Nigel Pearson, who's actually a very good manager, and he organised them very well. They were very difficult to break down, but Liverpool have the creative players to break teams up, and they got the win. So I'm not hopeful for Watford away, to be honest. I'm really not. In fact, I think we could potentially lose that game. And then Newcastle at home, likewise. Newcastle on a good run. Steve Bruce knows how to play, gets the team defending. So, this game for me was crucial, and that was it was the game to try and show whether United could break down these types of teams, and they couldn't. So if we can't do it against these types of teams, why do you think that we're going to be able to do it against the Watford Newcastle? Don Ragnar, if you painted a McDonald's M on the football, would Luke Shaw keep possession better? It's quite possible, to be honest. I don't think he had a great game, Luke Shaw. I don't think Wan-Bissaka had a particularly great game either. But most players in the pitch didn't really have a good game, really. Aside from the usuals, David De Gea, for example. Vishnu, either way, mark my words, Ollie's going to get sacked in 12 months. I don't want us to miss the Poch bus now. Well, do you think that Poch, I guess in this question, do you think that Poch will actually improve this team? Will Poch be backed? I don't know. I guess the question is, there'll be a lot of players who want to play for Pochettino, but I don't know. I really don't know whether a Pochettino, with the players that we have, with the injuries that we have, whether Pochettino could actually get a lot from this team. I really don't know. I'd even take Carlo Ancelotti. Would I take Carlo Ancelotti? I'm not sure. For stabilisation, but I don't know whether Carlo Ancelotti would compete. And we need a long-term solution. Yeah, guys. Disappointing. That's all I have to say. Very, very disappointing. Yeah. There's not really much else to say. I don't know what else to discuss on this game because literally very little actually happened aside from the fact that United had 28 shots on goal, a lot of them speculative efforts. Our front three was poor, and Mason Greenwood showed, or at least has given evidence to the fact that there's a reason why he should basically be starting. Because Mason Greenwood's finish and Mason Greenwood's composure in front of goal seems to be light years ahead of all the other front three that we have. I still can't. I mean, that's the only reason. The only positive that I feel good to say is that I look at that goal again and again that Greenwood scoring, and he has no right. He's got no right to take the shot from there. How many shots were on that goal from all the experienced players in that team? And yet Greenwood, almost through the eye of a needle, places it, bottom corner, goalkeeper side. No right. And yet he scores it. And you're like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for taking part. I'm going to seriously stop the stream now. In about 5-10 minutes, I'm going to restart this live match chat. Hopefully get some of you guys that are on in the chat, voicing your views. Make sure that you turn on your mic, mute your camera, or turn off your camera, but turn on your mic so that we can have some of you guys in the chat and get your concerns. And we'll see how popular this is, but we'll see what happens. Thanks everyone for watching. Be right back in about 5-10 minutes. Speak to you guys later. See you soon.